Welcome back to Fourth Quarter Sports, where the pressure is real. The sports world never disappoints. I'm your girl host, and I got my fellas with me, Yves and Ryan. We got some interesting storylines lined up for you guys on today. So let's go ahead and break it down. We're talking about Cleveland making a statement with Donovan Mitchell. We have the Thunders continuing to prove why they're a problem in the West. And some analytics from ESPN showing which teams have the best odds to make the NBA Finals. So, fellas, let's go ahead and drop into the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the Detroit Pistons 113-109 without Donovan Mitchell playing. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good sign for them, right? Now, we all know Detroit is picked to win the East. We all know that they're picked to win the finals. If they play OKC, we'll see where that goes. But I think for them, it's a momentum booster, right? When you have Donovan Mitchell out and James Harden's leading the way, you get to see the chemistry of the team without one of your best players on the team. Now, Cleveland, I believe they are 8-1 with James Harden in the lineup. And I think that's impressive. Now, we know what James Harden is going to bring. Yves, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago that we know James Harden is a ball player. We know he's a Hall of Famer. He's good for 25 plus a night. Now, he's on a team that got swept last year, and he's a guy that doesn't show up in game sevens.
Yeah.
That mixture for me, Yves, I don't know about you, bro, but I'm curious if it gets to a game 6 or game 7 against the Knicks or against Cleveland. I'm sorry, against Detroit or Boston. Will the Cavs show up in those games? Will James Harden show up in those games? If I'm on the opposite team, I would love to play against James Harden in game 7. Let me tell you why, because I know he's due for one. He's due for one. So as far as this game, a great confidence booster for the Cavs, but understanding this has to happen. They have to show up in the playoffs. I think Donovan Mitchell has to take his game to the next level. We know he's a superstar. We know he's an all-star. We know he can play. But for him and James Harden to band together, to come together in the playoffs when it really matters, this is it. And if you want to make a case for LeBron to come to Cleveland next year, this is a great case.
Yeah.
Right? There's some recruiting in this too. Because if I'm LeBron, if I want to come back home for my last year and I see Cleveland do what they did in the playoffs, go deep in the playoffs, and James and Donovan Mitchell still there with Evan Mobley and those guys, I like my chances with them than the Lakers right now.
Yeah.
Facts.
And to add on to that, man, I saw a lot of things that I like. James Harden affected the game in a lot of ways. 18 points. He had 7 assists, 5 rebounds. But he shot horribly, man. 5 for 17. We can't have that. But the thing that kind of saved them this game and really propelled them is the other guys. Jalen Tyson led scoring with 22 points. Evan Mobley had a big 18 points. And Dennis Schroeder, man, if you're just watching the box score, you don't see the impact Dennis Schroeder has on the game running the second unit. They have a reliable backup point guard that can still get everybody involved. He can get to his spot. He can make any shot he takes on the floor. He shot 60% last night, 2 for 3 from 3, 6 for 10 from the field, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench would definitely be a key component for them making a deep playoff run. Having the person that can take off that pressure from Donovan Mitchell and James Harden when he has a game like this, when he shoots 5 for 17. We see this being his Achilles heel when he's the focal point of the offense. But now being in a position where he doesn't need to carry the offense, where he can depend on Donovan Mitchell, he can depend on the other guys to kind of come with him. I like their chances, man.
So I'm asking you a question, Yves. If they were to play each other in the playoffs,
Detroit?
Right? If the Cavs were to play Detroit in the playoffs, who you got?
I got Detroit.
In what game? Game 5, game 6? Is it a sweep?
I think it goes 6, but man, last night we saw Cade shoot 25%. I don't think we'll see that in the playoffs. I don't think we'll see it the rest of the season. Their best player had one of his worst games, and he still had 14 assists. Like, that kind of showed that even when Cade's shots not falling, he's still an effective player. He still got his teammates involved. He still, got assists, got rebounds, played great defense, did his thing there. So I just think, some nights not your night. Every shot can't
Yes.
fall. Some days the basket is just a little smaller than it normally is. So I think over the course of a series, I think K be more consistent than James Harden, probably more consistent than Donovan Mitchell. I think he can lead his team farther by himself with less supporting cast. I just think that K and Jalen Duren, their pick and roll combo, just those two key players, I trust them more to be more consistent and to score more efficiently than James Harden and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, and they're hungry. I'll add on to this. They're hungry. I think Detroit has proven this season. Like I was telling, like we talked about last week, they went from one of the worst teams in the league when Kate Cunningham got into the league to now they're the best team, top three, top two best team in the NBA. And you think about some of the last couple of games they played, and I mean, guys getting suspended for fighting, coming off the bench, pushing guys out the way. I mean, they went into the Knicks last week. They went into Madison Square Garden last week, and Kate Cunningham put on a show, right? So these are things that can happen for Detroit. But as far as the Cavs, for me, they have a lot to prove because of the backtrack of James Harden, what he's done in the playoffs, and Cleveland getting swept last year. So we'll have to see.
And then just to kind of add
Well,
one more,
go ahead, Yves.
just to add one more point to that real quick before we move on. They have a Sora Thompson. They have a lockdown defender on the perimeter. Just dealing with
Yeah,
Cleveland, you
yeah.
can put Thompson, whoever gets hot, if Mitchell is hot, if Harden is hot, they have a lockdown guy that can go in there, take away the number one option. I think as long as the Sir Thompson doesn't get played off the floor on offense, he shot 7 for 11 last night. As long as he can remain efficient on offense, he can stay out there on defense, take away one of those guys. I don't see Cleveland beating them in a 6 or 7 game series.
Okay. Well, let's flip it to Detroit for a second. So the Pistons kept the game very close. Are they closer to competing than people realize, or are they still a few years away?
I mean, yeah, they're my pick for the East this year, man. Like I think they're complete. 1 through 5. They have shooters around K. They have a point guard that can get downhill, that can defend, that can distribute. It's not a thing on the court that K can't do consistently. You want to see him be a better jump shooter, maybe knock down his three more efficiently, but he's not a volume 3-point scorer, so it's not an issue to me. And they have shooters. Tobias Harris is shooting better than he ever shot in Philadelphia, so that's good for them. They have a sniper over there in Duncan Robinson. Leave him open, is knocked down. Asura Thompson is a perimeter defensive player. He could be a DPOY candidate for the foreseeable future. And they have Jalen Duren, who, outside of a healthy Embiid, I think is the best center in the East. So I think top to bottom, they're deep. They have pieces that can score. They have Wu coming off the bench, Karis LeVert coming off the bench. They got Ron Harlan coming off the bench. Beef Stew was kind of that mean enforcer, that Kendrick Perkins, that Draymond Green type of, not gonna hit my star players type of guy that every championship team needs. So I like Detroit this year.
I'll say this. I do like Detroit, but as far as them winning a championship, I think they need one more piece. Let me tell you why. It's because they need another player like Cade that can go get one. Yeah, they have a couple. They have great. He has great pieces around him like Tobias Harris and Ahmad Thompson and guys like that can play. Javante Green, who's from Virginia. Actually, he went to Radford.
Shout out
Right.
Wu.
Shout out Woo. So guys that can play, they have a great Isaiah Stewart. I mean, he's like you can call him the Draymond Green of that team. But they need one more piece. They need another guard that can go get it because Cade Cunningham. Listen, he's a superstar. He's rising himself into MVP conversation. He cannot be the only one to put up these type of numbers. So I would say they run into OKC, right? They run into the Spurs. I think when it comes to a superstar, because you got to think about the Spurs. I mean, Wemby's, yeah, he's a superstar, but you got Stephon Castle, you got De'Aaron Fox, right? So when it comes to Detroit, I think they're one piece away. They get that one more piece, a guy that can go get it. I don't know who, but now we're talking championship caliber. But that I think they'll make it far enough with the team they have now. I just don't think they'll beat a team in the West like OKC or the Spurs because Kate Cunningham can't be the end all be all. There's going to be times where he's missing. Who else is going to step up?
And I really hate the fact that, especially that he got proven innocent. They are missing Malik Beasley, man. if they had, like you said, the other go-to guard that can get his shot, that can knock down the three, that can kind of control the offense, they're missing him right now. He'll be a big piece to have, but I still like him this year.
Well, all right. So Cleveland continues to stack those wins, but another young team out west might be the most dangerous team in the league right now. So Oakland City Thunder beat the New York Knicks 103-100. SGA finished with 26 points, and Chet Holmgren added 28 points. Now, after watching this game, are you more confident or less confident in the Knicks?
Yeah, I think um I would say I'm less confident because this is a team they can run into in the finals, right? This is a team if they beat Detroit, if they beat Boston, and they get far to the finals. Because look, I'm scared for the Knicks. I mean, we just got word Jason Tatum coming back tomorrow night against the Mavericks, right? So these are the times where between the system for Coach Brown, I'm seeing Coach Mike Brown. That's now with the new head coach for the Knicks. These are times where it's you're trying to get your team to get to that next level. And when you have OKC, who's the best team in the league, that coming in Madison Square Garden, and for Shea to drop his 20 plus, right, coming in swagged out. I don't know if y'all saw it, right? These are the games that are needed to make New York fans feel comfortable. New York fans, New York Knicks fans, and Dallas Cowboy fans are fans that listen. If they sniff a little bit of wins, they go crazy. That
Yeah,
is a
that's
fact,
what it is.
right? So for the Knicks being I'm less confident in them. I think can they turn around? We'll see. I think Mike Brown is a great coach. I think everyone's not really bought into his system, but it's going to get down to a point where when the playoffs hit, these guys got to get it together because they're going to run into OKC or the Spurs. Right? And we know what they can do, right? Jalen Brunson is going to be him, right? And the thing about the Knicks is that Karl Anthony Towns needs to be a dominant force. I think he did an interview with Shaq a couple weeks ago on ESPN, and Shaq asked him, "Hey, if you guys going to win the championship, you need to be dominant." And Karl Anthony Towns proceeded to say, "Well, it has to take all of us." Well, no, that's true. But you need to be a superstar player if they're going to win, because Jalen Brunson is going to it's going to get his numbers. You need to be that second guy to get the numbers. Just that simple. So the Knicks, they have a lot to work with, but as far as beating really good teams to get that championship to the Mecca, it's question marks for me, and I'm scared for them.
Man, you just kind of mentioned my biggest point here. They're not, and to answer your question, guys, my confidence changed. I didn't have confidence in the Knicks to begin with. You guys know I grew up. He
I
has my
do.
favorite player, but outside of Steph Curry being the greatest shooter of all times, you don't win a championship with a small guard. Your marquee star player cannot be an undersized point guard. As we saw last night, we know the Thunder play amazing defense, and what happened? Jalen Brunson shot 5 for 18. Of course, he did, have a lot of assists. He had 15 assists, I believe. He got his teammates involved. But when your star player has 18 field goal attempts and your second best player only has 8, and he shot 7 for 8. That's the problem there. They don't give Cat the ball enough. I don't think Cat demands the ball enough. I don't think Cat's physical enough to be, your marquee star big like Shaq wants him to be. Cat wants to shoot threes. He wants to play around the perimeter. He doesn't want to get to the paint, similar to Wembanyama. He falls in love with the 3-point line. We saw in this game when he actually got to the paint, he attacked the skinnier Chet. He attacked the smaller defenders OKC has out there. He shot 7 for 8. He shot amazing, playing like a big. But we see too often than not, he doesn't want to shoot this way. He wants to shoot threes. He wants to take mid-range jumpers. He doesn't want to post up. He doesn't want to get his back to the basket. And you can say it's kind of a Mike Brown thing, but this happened in Minnesota. This happened with Thibodeau. This happened with every coach he's had. He does not want to be a traditional big. He wants to be a stretch four. But you're 7 feet tall, man. Turn around, put somebody in the basket, and dunk the basketball. So until Cat gets more than 10 field goal attempts a game, and he's a dominant presence, 17 rebounds is amazing. Can't complain about that. But we don't see that often enough. It doesn't happen. I doubt it will happen again. But if you guys want a chance to win the championship, give Cat the ball, man.
I'll tell you this, two things real quick. Karl Anthony Towns coming into the league from Kentucky, he's always developed his perimeter game being the best big man that can shoot the three.
Yeah.
Right. And if you think about his game, he's never been a guy to have his back to the basket. If he does, it's gonna turn into some type of jump shot. It's rare that you see that. Number one, he doesn't have good feet. He's not mobile, right? He's not a Giannis can run up and down the court like a Goliath. It's just not him.
And that's the
Right.
problem.
And that's a problem. And when it comes to the type of game that he's going to need to play, let me ask you a question, Yves, real quick. Going into the play, I guess to for the Knicks to win a championship, what kind of numbers do you think Cat needs to put up?
I need Cat to give me 22 and 12 consistently. 22 and 12 with limited 3-point shots. I'm cool with that.
Okay. I think he needs to, and I have similar numbers. I think he needs to put up 25 plus and 12.
Okay.
25 plus and 12, and at least shooting 40+% from three.
Yeah.
Because he's going to shoot the three. He's the best big man that can shoot the three. There is mismatches there if he runs into guys like Durn from Detroit, or if he runs into Jared Allen, Evan Mobley from Cleveland. He can shoot it, but he cannot play the way he's been playing against the big teams. The way he played against the Spurs, the way he played several games here throughout the season, his numbers are down from last year.
Exactly.
Right. So you're right. He needs to solidify himself. He's from New York, New Jersey, right? He's a staple up there. He needs to prove that.
I don't understand why your 6-foot point guard, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, so let me not, misspeak. But why your 6-foot point guard seems to play more at the rim than your 7-foot center does. That doesn't make sense to me. It's not good basketball. And I get it, you have a sniper out there. You want him to pull the bigs away so Brunson can penetrate, so he can, drive in the lane, finish at the rim. But you have a 7-footer. You have a 7-foot, 260-pound man who needs to turn around and put somebody in the basket. So once it happens, they have a better chance.
We'll see.
Well, this leads perfectly into the bigger conversation: which teams truly have championship potential? So according to ESPN analytics, here are the teams with the best chances to reach the NBA Finals. So we have the Thunders at 67%, Pistons at 27%, Boston at 23%, Knicks at 23%, Cavaliers at 22%, Spurs at 13%, and then we have the Nuggets at 9%. So when you look at that list, which team actually has the highest championship ceiling this season?
I'm gonna let you start. I'm gonna let you go, Yves. I know you got something to say about that.
You ready?
Man, if you would have asked me this on Monday, I would have said Philly was missing. But the way we look and the way we got embarrassed by 40 points, it's hard for me not to say the Spurs. Spurs are complete from top to bottom. They have one of the best players in the league. They have the best defensive player in the league with Wembanyama. You can't go in the paint against the Spurs. It's hard to even get a shot up on that team. They play such great defense, 1 through 5. De'Aaron Fox is sitting in the chair. Stephon Castle is sitting in the chair. Harper is sitting in the chair. Harrison Barnes sits in the chair. They want to defend. They want to get in your face. They want to play physical smash mouth basketball, and I love it. I think the Spurs have a chance. I think they can really go far. I think people are underestimating this team because of their youth, but everybody said the same thing last year against OKC. It was unprecedented for a young team to win, to go this far, for, a young player in SGA to lead his team as far as to win a championship, and we just saw it happen. So somebody did it once, somebody did the impossible, so now we can see history repeat itself, and we can see Wembanyama do the same thing.
Oof.
Ryan?
Well, hey, I'll tell you this, man. I think a couple things here. OKC, because the Spurs are complete. They've gotten better from Wemby's first year to now. I mean, we've seen the growth in him and his team. What I'll say about OKC, a couple of things here. When you got your best player not playing in fourth quarters in several games this season, when you're that deep, I mean, the general manager for OKC did a really good job constructing this team,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Shea Butter, man, Eves, Cash, man,
Yeah.
when I tell you Shea is a joy to watch and what he like the extreme confidence, not only him, but his teammates, J Dub, Check Holmgren, I mean, Isaiah Joe, the list goes on, Lou Dort, I mean, Alex Caruso, this team can repeat because they won games without them, all three of them being on the court. Just think about
Yeah.
that, right? There's games that J Dub and Shea didn't play at all, and it was just Chet Holmgren, and they were beating teams left and right? So I think when it comes to the completion of that team and how I mean, you look at their interviews post game, they're all locked in. They all like you can tell y'all hang out outside the basketball court,
It's a college
Yeah.
team
right?
over there for sure.
For sure. You think about championship guys that love each other, that want to win together, they all hang out,
Mhm.
right? You think about teams we've been a part of with it's a click over here, it's a click over there. Like, no, if someone throw a party, they all going. They all going, right? So I think OKC will definitely repeat. I'll say this, Eves. I'll tell you this, bro. The Spurs against OKC in the Western Conference Finals, to me, that's the NBA Finals right there. Because I don't see any team in the East beating OKC. If they run into Detroit, they're going to beat them. They run into the Knicks, they'll beat them. They run into Boston with Jason Tatum probably not being 100%, they're definitely going to beat them. They may not sweep them, but they'll beat them.
Yeah.
So I think we all want to see OKC versus the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. To me, that's the NBA Finals right there. I think that's going to set a record to see who's really the best team in the National Basketball Association.
So I got two
Nice. Okay.
things to go off your point real quick, Ryan. The first one being we saw this team last year go to 7 games with a Pacers team that nobody thought was that good. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
let's not have revisionist history. Of course, they did
yeah.
their thing in the West, but when they got to the East, it wasn't like they cakewalked through the finals, man. They went to 7. They were torn ACL away from Halliburton from who
From
knows?
winning, yeah.
Who
Yeah, and
knows what can happen, man?
great point. Yeah, great
And
point.
and then also, I think you guys are underestimating the power of hatred. Wemby hates Chet. Like he
Yeah.
hates the Thunder.
He never guards him. He
I
never
don't
guards
think
him.
he's letting himself lose to the Thunder, man. Like I think he wants to
Yeah.
prove he's the best big man. It's a reason that he went first in this draft and Chet was second in this draft.
Mhm.
I think Wemby wants to remind the world that I am the next best premier big man in this league here. Like you said, that's the finals. Whoever comes out the East, regardless, it's not going to be the same. Is that Thunder, the Thunder Spurs? If we don't get that in the Western Conference Finals, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah. We all will.
Yeah.
We all will. Yeah. Now, great point.
Right.
And go back to hold on real quick.
But just to kind of add on to that list, man, I am disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're not seeing the Wolves on that list. And I think that's kind of good for the Wolves because, as we know, Anthony Edwards doesn't take lightly to being disrespected. He doesn't like being
Mhm.
slighted. So I think that, Ant has a chance to succeed. And as well as we also have the Joker out there. Right now, they're not healthy. Him and Murray are still an amazing duo. But once they get Peyton
Mhm.
Watson back, once they get Aaron Gordon back, once they get their team back to full strength, I'm interested to see if those odds go up anymore later towards the year when we get a healthy Denver team.
Yeah. So does Cleveland deserve to be in this conversation after they've been playing recently?
I mean, yeah, for the East, definitely. The East is wide open. The East is open ever since LeBron left the East. It's been open every year, so it's no favorites come out the East, especially with Tatum being hurt, with the
Mhm.
inconsistencies that we've seen with New York, with Philly, our injuries, our inconsistencies. It's not Detroit. Like it's nobody else you can really say is a guaranteed favorite for the East. So yeah, they deserve that conversation.
So I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure. Oh, go ahead,
I
Ryan. My bad.
guess they do. We just talked about I just gotta see it. I'm
Yeah.
scared.
Yes, you got
I'm
to see
scared.
it.
We gotta see it.
And who are you picking again to win it all?
I got OKC. All
Okay.
right. Not a sweep. I'm not gonna say they're gonna sit here, and dominate, especially when they get to the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. But I just have them. They have more. They've been there before. everyone be healthy by then, and they know what it takes already, and that's into their advantage.
Well, that was a lot to unpack tonight. Cleveland showing depth without their star. The Thunder continue to prove they might be the real deal. And analytics, of course, giving us a look at who might actually make a run for the finals. But before we end tonight's episode, I'm going to give the floor to Yves because I think he has a 2-minute segment question for me and Ryan. A little switchy.
Yeah, man. So sorry to take your shine tonight, Ryan, but I just want to know, and
Okay, I
actually the
love it.
fans want to know. Man. The
Mhm.
fans, I've been hearing that they want us to get a little more personal. They want know a little bit more about us. So I want you guys to kind of tell me, everybody here plays sports, everybody's athletes. If you can go back and describe the best game you had in your respective sport, how would you describe it? What happened? Who was the opponent? Set the stage. Let the fans know a little bit about your background.
Ryan, you want to go first?
You got it.
You want me to go first?
You
Okay.
got
Because
it.
first thing came up to my mind.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. It's like an embarrassing one, but also a good one. So, volleyball game, we are playing against Lexington. And I think this is like my 5th game where I'm starting. Super excited. My parents are out there cheering me on. But y'all, the girl, and I remember her name, Brittany, she spiked the ball, but it spiked in my face. My face saved the ball to where my teammate was able to hit.
Mhm.
And we won that game. So honestly, that was like the most embarrassing, but the most famous game that literally like still talk about back home. So yeah, shout out to my face. It didn't do much damage, but yeah, I'm gonna say that one for sure.
Okay, shout out to the
Yeah.
face card, man.
Go
There
Bulldogs.
you go. Yves, what's your question? One more time. I want to make sure I answer correct, effectively, bro.
What's kind of like your most memorable, your best, wherever you want to go with your best game that you had from your sport? Let me know your sport and then the game that you had.
Which one do I choose from?
You
I
got a
would
lot.
say, man, I would say, well, I played basketball growing up, and I would say my one of my best games that I still remember to this day, because I mean, it's few of them. Um, my first year playing in Europe, I was playing in Spain, and we were playing in a gym, full of like 15, 20,000 people, and every player, when you walk into the gym and you see a lot of people, like this adrenaline rush, like this is rush, like, I mean, I'm here, I'm finally in the gym. I think every athlete from every sport go through that. You walk onto the field, you walk onto the volleyball court or the basketball court, and you see an arena, it's like, oh, we here. You warming up, you getting shots up, whatever the case may be. So one of my fond moments is that we won that game, but playing really well in that game in front of those many of fans out in Spain really solidified me as just building confidence playing a sport, playing professionally, a sport that you played your whole life, because everyone doesn't get that opportunity. Um, and it was away from home. I think when guys don't understand, people don't understand that when you're playing away from home in a different country, it's not easy, right? It's, you're
Yeah.
away from everybody. Sometimes they don't see you play. Sometimes it's not being streamed. Sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere. But to answer your
Mhm.
question, I would say Europe, playing in that environment and having that memory, knowing that, when I look back 30, 40 years from now, I'm like, I can't believe I actually played over there and had that memory.
That's dope.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That's dope. Well, Yves, did you want to add before I did my
What
little
about you?
spiel?
Yeah, what about you,
Right.
man?
Oh man, I'll say probably my most memorable game is most memorable. Not my best game, most memorable game. So I played football and I wrestled. My most memorable game was my first flag football. My first what was it? JV midget. My
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, JV midget. We went to the championship game. We played against Blue Star. Had a strip fumble. I think I had like 2 sacks, but I had a big strip fumble late in the fourth quarter. So just that moment happening and like the seeing just my people in the stadium, the field, the crowd, my brother, my dad, my uncle, seeing everybody get so excited and so just riled up for me to make my first big play in my football career. And that was it, man. Never forget. We ended up losing the game though. But just
Love
that
it,
was
man.
like my first, like, oh yeah, like this is, that adrenaline rush you get.
It feels good.
Yeah,
That
it feels
adrenaline,
good.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
get your first big shot, you get a big three, you turn around, you see people in the stands, everybody's cheering for you. That's like my first time really like making a big play. It just stuck with me forever.
Oh, I love
that's dope.
that.
That's pretty cool. That's what it's about.
That is. Absolutely. Well, that is all for today's segment. Again, I am your girl Cass. I have the fellas Eve and Ryan with me, and this is Fourth Quarter Sports Podcast, and we will catch you guys next time.
Peace.